And that's the
Now-
disappointing when you fuck a guy for over an hour and he just go.
Did anybody recognize you from film in the industry? They did? Okay. Well, I just come and you gotta do what you gotta do.
You are such an advocate. One thing is what I love is I love seeing a lot of the beautiful women that's in the industry as sex advocates.
And I would set up crystals on their body based off of their chakra. And the crystals, what they do is if they sit long enough, they begin to like permeate through the body. They begin to expand through the body and they create a bridge.
I cannot. And I shot with John Q too. You know, John Q, you know, I'm the first big girl, but he did his thing, you know, his thing. Yeah. But
I would, and I have given my last dime to people. I've given when I should have just watched. And it's not always about giving financially. It's giving your space and your time and your energy.
So that's kind of like a 50-50 answer, what I got. That wasn't really a yes or no answer.
I think I actually would, and this is of course the therapist in me, I would be asking them, like, tell me how this is celibacy for you.
So what's first there, Anna?
I shoot them just like I would be shooting a regular female. So you don't put the emphasis on that. So it makes it more consistent with the title of being transgender woman.
I have a good friend. She lives here in Atlanta. I met her on a porn set. She wrote a book called From Porn to the Pulpit. Now, I won't say she was like this super... Yeah, she's my best friend. She's my best friend. Her name is Danielle Williams McCord. She wrote an amazing book called From Porn to the Pulpit. She's been preaching for 10 years now, but I met her on a porn set.
In any business that you find yourself in. Because definitely for me, like, you know, creating a product to push to the consumer, and for me, everything was consumer driven. If they didn't want it, I'm not gonna make it because I knew it
felt like if we kept our head a little below the sagebrush, that we would just be able to keep on going without any interference or anything like that. But you know, that's
like, dude, I'm sitting in like the dressing room, like just with all the 20-year-olds and 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds. I'm like, how old are you? Oh, I'm 25. I'm like, how old are you? I'm 23. And I'm like, dude, I'm 30.
Before I leave the house, I feel like the last look. You know, this is how I feel, this is what I'm thinking, you know. Now, when I get out and interact with other people, it's going to be what it is.
Right, okay.
Yeah, bridging the gap. Nyomi Banks, the goddess. Tune in. Hey yo, Black, where we at? Elements. Got a problem? What's the issue? Ask Nyomi for advice, she will bless you. Is it sex, love, or relationships? If your spirits are down, you can get a daily uplift. Just listen every word that she speaks. Setting trends with hashtags for every day of the week. Hashtag motivational Mondays, testimonial Tuesdays. I've been listening for the last 2 days. Wet Willie or Wisdom Wednesdays. Either way, the conversation gon' be lengthy. It's not hearsay. This is her way. You know she'll keep you thirst trapping on a Thursday. 4 days down, I'll talk about the number 5 day. Never coy, she always keeps it freaky on Fridays. Spiritual on Saturdays with sessions in the morning. Still uplifting and inspiring you all in. Being the goddess that she is, she keeps you all in. Formed on soul searching Sundays, just call in. If you misinformed, come get the facts. Fortunate for you, she's looking to bridge the gap. Yes, she was a porn star, but she's more than that. She's a certified specialist specialist teaching us how to act. By the end of the show, we'll agree to disagree, but be good to each other and ourselves and keep it sexy. Yeah. Tune in every week to Ask Nyomi. Bridging the gap with Naomi Banks and Dog Pound Mike. Don't miss it. Tune in.
All right. It's your girl, the goddess, Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. You know what I was going to say. I want to welcome all of my BTG crew as well as Dog Pound Mike. What's going on, baby?
What's happening? What's happening?
Are you excited about this guest?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I am truly, and I see her in the backstage right now, and she is truly beautiful.
Yes,
like, really, really, really. So let me tell you something. Now, how I ended up seeing this young lady is she came on one of my posts. She literally came on one of my posts, and she was giving me a nice little goddess tap. Like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'd like to see another sister like this. So, you know me, nosy, I go through her page, and I'm looking like, oh my gosh, she is gorgeous. And then I saw that she had written a book. And when I say this book is amazing, this book is amazing. It is. So this is what I'm going to do because, baby girl, so let me tell you something how special she is. She's all the way in Bali. So right now, today is Thursday for us. It's Friday for her right now. And she took the time to bless us to be here with us. So my BTG crew, I want y'all to make sure that y'all show Mo, the goddess, some love. Let's bring her up to the stage. Hi, beautiful.
Hello, how are you?
I am well. You are just so beautiful. And I can truly say that because this book.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. You guys have to forgive me. My sinuses are acting up, so my eyes are watering. And thank you. That introduction was amazing.
And you know what?
Can you see me, girl?
Yeah, we can see you. Girl, you look so clear, honey.
Okay, good.
And you're glycerin.
Thank you.
You are glycerin. So beautiful. This is what we want to do. Usually we'll bring you up after we do the break, but I wanted to bring you up because I know you've been waiting there for a minute. And I just wanted to see your beautiful face and just say, truly, thank you. Thank you for this book. Really.
Thank you.
Thank you for this book. And you see all of this? You see all of these little pink things in here? So yeah, I got some questions for you. And also I want you to be able to speak your language. I want you to speak your language because those out there that hear your language, because I'm one of them that hear your language. I heard this whole book. And I want you to speak it. I want you to speak it.
Great.
I am so proud of you. I really am. It's just really look. I can keep on talking, y'all. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're coming back with the amazing Motor Goddess. All right, it's your girl, the Goddess, Naomi Banks here on the Season of Self Love podcast. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Season of Self Love podcast with Naomi Banks, where every day is a chance to embrace self-discovery and personal growth. Join Naomi on a transformative journey, streaming exclusively on Spotify and Breaker. With daily episodes from Monday through Friday, podcast is your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and self-love. Dive deep into engaging conversations about self-care, mindfulness, and personal development. Naomi brings you expert insights, practical tips, and uplifting stories from thought leaders in the field. Embark on a journey of self-discovery and unlock the power of self-love. Mark your calendars and tune in to the Season of Self-Love podcast. Available every weekday on Spotify and Spreaker. Remember, it's time to prioritize yourself and embrace the beautiful season of self-love. Get inspired and join Naomi Banks on the Season of Self-Love podcast.
Hi, I'm Dr. William C. Washington, aka Dr. Will, your friendly neighborhood counselor. One of the biggest things that I want to tell you about is that I'm a health psychologist, a licensed professional clinical counselor supervisor, an MDMA-assisted therapist, a ketamine-assisted therapist, a psychedelic integration prep specialist. I'm a researcher, a mentor, a supervisor, and also an artist. One of the biggest things about Washington Wellness Institute is that I created this to modernize the way that we look into the world. And I hate to say it, but we're finally getting rid of the old ways of thinking. I want to bring in the silver age of psychology. And to do that, I've even created a model called restorative enhancement modality that focuses on motive and purpose to make healing a lifestyle. I want to offer this to you. I want to offer this to the world and to anyone that's ready to learn. So, if you're ready, sign up today. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
All right, well, welcome back. It's your girl, the Goddess Nyomi Banks, here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast. And I am here with the beautiful Mo the Goddess. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you again. Truly, I'm ready for folks to hear your story. And it's an amazing story. It really is. First, introduce yourself to my audience, the BTG crew.
Well, I am Mo the Goddess. I am a fitness and nutrition lifestyle coach. I also am an adult content creator. And you pretty much summed it up. I mean, I'm just who I am, living my life on my own terms here in Bali, Indonesia, after giving myself permission to stand in my power. And, I wrote about it, and I am so pleased to be here with you, share my story.
Thank you. And the thing is, I needed to even the title of this show, this topic is the permission to power. Because when I just read the little description when you sent me the link, and then when I got the book and I started reading it, and I was like, yes, it definitely have to be that, because not only are you talking about yourself, but you're talking about so many different people that go through the very thing that you went through. And when I say I saw myself completely in this book right here, honey, let me tell you something. We even share the same middle name, girl. Yes.
Really?
Really. I got an accent over the
Wow. Talk about alignment, right?
Yes.
And you're in Las Vegas too, right?
Yes.
And I'm from Las Vegas.
Yes. Yes. So I knew this was meant to be. This was truly meant to be. So one of the first questions that I want to ask you is, what brought you, and I know because I read it in here, but for my audience to know, is what brought you to write Permission to Power?
Well, for a long time, I was going around to people. First of all, I'm one of those kind of people pleasing type of individuals. Well, I suffered from that for a lot of years, and trying to be accepted, trying to be loved, trying to be for somebody to care and really, give me the love that I was missing, or I felt like I was missing. And I used to go around telling people my story, if I found some closeness or some connection, I would tell people all the time, well, this happened to me. And if this didn't happen to me, people would see things in me that I didn't see in myself. So I felt like if I justified why I wasn't living up to my full potential, or if I justified why, I wasn't this big whatever they saw in me, and told my story and all the things that happened to me in my life, that somebody would save me. Somebody would say, oh, that, shouldn't have happened to you, or somebody would protect me. I don't know. I just was looking for people to advocate for me. And finally, I came across this one sister, and I was telling her what had happened to me. And she was like, you know what? Don't nobody want to hear your story. Don't nobody want to hear what you have to say. We all have a story. If you want to tell your story so bad, write a book. Empower yourself rather than, being the victim. So I was like, she hurt my feelings, of course, but I was like, she right. I'm getting ready to write my story. And I kept holding on to it and holding on to it and holding on to it. And I didn't want to expose the people who had hurt me. And, everything was like, I don't know if this was like this in your family, but in my family, it was like, don't tell what happens in this house. So a lot of times I would just keep things secret and sweep it under the rug. And then finally I was like, no, I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to let this book go, whether it's perfect or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what inspired me to write it, just to get it out of me,
Right.
so
Right.
that I didn't feel like the victim anymore.
Right. It was quite a few different things that I like. First of all, I like that you created each chapter of starting with the letter P. From
Mhm.
permission, and I think the last one was it peace? Was the last chapter
I
peace?
think the last one was power.
Was it power? Maybe it was power. Peace is before power. I think that you know it.
Girl, you look, let me check. Let me check my own dang notes. Yeah, it was power. Peace came before power.
Nope, it was power. It was power. You're right. It was power. But also within there, like when I say you had a lot of amazing quotes in here, like a lot of amazing quotes. So it's something that I want to do different with you that I did with the other guests is that I'm going to read a quote to you and I want you to tell me where you were at that moment when you were writing this book. And so let me say this to you too. Um, this book you had me crying.
Oh.
You had me crying in the pain.
Mm-hmm.
The pain when that was really I was crying with that because I saw you. It's like I was sitting there with your eyes and watching everything and even the description of your brother sitting there and watching of confusion. So it's like I
Yes.
felt that whole thing and it was just like this baby is going to be amazing. And as I got through the book and I saw you try, let me shut up because I can be just here reading the whole book. Everybody.
Girl, no, look, you sparking something in me again. Like, yes, girl.
Yeah, like it's
But
so let me
you
tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this too. So one of my good girlfriends, she was like, because she listened to my morning show. I got to see, and actually, I want you to come on that show to the season of self love, and this fits
okay.
right in there. But me and my resident therapist, Dr. Will, we had a great conversation about cultivating relationships with empowering people around you, right? And it was one of them about the difference. We had to break it all the way down. So one of the things that we had to talk about, we were talking about different people in your lives, whether they're friends, families, and stuff like that, and how they relate in your life or how it was. And so one of the things was the steal relationships are still that's one of the highest relationships within that's where you in a relationship with somebody whether it's friends lovers or foes that you connect on a whole deeper level but also that you speaking to them and they speaking to you in that matter and they understand that language. So I told my girlfriend, I said, look, she gonna be my friend by the end of this show and she gonna be one of my still friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is your journey is amazing and I am excited to see what else you have going on, and really, really, I can just keep on talking more and more and more. But let me go to this one right here. I want to kind of go around some. All right, so this is when you created your superhero.
Okay.
When you created your superhero, goddess. I am goddess when you created her. And you said, truthfully, I didn't feel like I possessed any of the wonderful qualities that the goddess had. What qualities were you meaning? And what qualities do you think a goddess is supposed to have?
Well, she's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
She's inspiring. She's
Mm-hmm.
strong. She's confident. She knows
Mm-hmm.
who she is. She stands up for herself. She's powerful,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and she stands up for the people around her
Mm-hmm.
um, who look up to her. And she wants to be that individual that people do look up to. She wants people to look at her in awe.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me was like, yeah, I don't have those qualities. I felt like I didn't at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that I thought I was missing, I didn't realize that I was her. I was
Yeah.
her all along.
All
Whole
along.
time I've been her, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is the qualities that I feel like, and she's smart, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and not afraid to speak her mind. So to me, that is those qualities that I was referring to.
Right. So here's another question that I'm going to ask you. You had two different characters. Robina, is that am I saying her
Right.
name? Robona,
You
Robina.
saying her right, girl. Uh-huh. You saying Robina right. Uh-huh.
And the goddess. But I heard you speak of them in like they were not connected to you. But then I also read that, the one thing is that I understand that it's the God in me. God is in me. So that is why
Mhm.
I am a goddess. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so
Right.
as I'm reading the book, and I ain't gonna lie, I thought at the end of it that it was that I don't girl, I'm about to start writing the rest of your story. But then I felt that you were gonna say, because in the beginning I understand that you writing it from a place of this is where I've grown from. But then I
Yes.
I thought that you were gonna and maybe you did, and maybe I was just tripping somewhere that I missed it, that you would be the connected that I am goddess. I am her. So I am the goddess. So there is
Mhm.
no her that I am
Right.
thee. You understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
That I am
Uh-huh.
thee. And I
Uh-huh.
didn't see it in there, and maybe because I missed it, but you right now, or do you feel I am the goddess?
Yes. And I feel like I'm graduating to another level of my goddesshood. But
Mhm,
I started the book out speaking from the goddess perspective. So
mhm.
that's probably why I didn't end there, because I started there
Okay,
in
okay.
the introduction. I was like, I am goddess, and so are you,
Yeah. Mhm.
and then I went into
You went back.
the
Yeah.
story. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here's another one. And I actually used this in a promo. And I was telling my baby, I read this to him and he was like, ooh, that's deep. It says, for me, I always worried about what other people would think about me taking up too much space in the world.
Yeah.
Explain that to my audience.
Well, I played small. And you know what, Naeem? Sometimes I still catch myself being that way.
Hmm.
Um, because I know that I'm a lot. I'm a lot in my stature. I'm a lot in my matter of factness. I'm a lot in the way that I present myself.
Mm,
And people, a lot of people become offended by me, not even know me. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like they don't even know me, but for whatever reason, throughout my childhood and early adulthood, there was a lot of people who would just like, I don't know. They just, I don't know, they became offended or maybe intimidated. And I used to turn down a lot. I don't want to be too much, because if
mhm,
I'm too much, then I'm going to make somebody uncomfortable. Or if I say what I really feel, I'm going to make somebody uncomfortable. So let me just tiptoe around life and stay in this cute little shell, in this cute little box, so that everybody else around me is comfortable, because I was looking for love. I was looking for, somebody to appreciate me and to care for me. And I felt like if I offended them,
mhm,
then I pushed that away. So,
mhm.
yeah.
I thought that was so beautifully said. And even, after that, you said it's easier for me to stay locked away in a box because that's the way that I wouldn't offend anyone.
Hmm.
And I thought that was, I know a lot of people feel that way. At a moment of time, I used to feel that way to dim my light because it was too much or it was something that, people hadn't seen before. So I wasn't
Yes.
comfortable. So it say you're not comfortable with your uniqueness.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I realize now that that uniqueness makes me the amazing goddess that I am.
Yes.
The fact that there is no one else like me,
Exactly.
and that I do present this way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's, like I said, I'm still trying to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I am still, practicing that every day. Every day I am becoming more of who I was created to be. And I wasn't created to be in a box.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm coming out.
Yeah. I see you. I see you, girl. I see you. I see you. All right, here's another one. And I thought this was so, oh my God, this one right here. And now I'm hopping around. I just want you to know I'm hopping around a different
Okay.
thing. All right, so this one is said, when we begin to heal ourselves and shift our mindset, unlearning must unlearning most of what we are conditioned to believe about ourselves also had to take place. It takes much discipline and focus to unlearn as it does to learn anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So here's what I did. Here is my process in the healing and the unlearning. First of all, speaking my truth, right? Not being ashamed to say, this happened to me, because I used to be ashamed. I used to be ashamed, like, why doesn't my mama love me the way everybody else's mama loves them? Why doesn't, why am I not receiving what I see other people having? Why am I so bad? So what I had to do was understand, like, that's not on me. That's not on me. And my past does not have to have any effect on my future. I can just become who I want to become. And my process was being disciplined and shutting everybody off, cutting everybody off. Everything that did not make me feel good, anybody that did not uplift me, people who found joy in my pain, just cutting them off and separating myself from them. And I had to be really disciplined in fighting against Robina, because she was showing up all the time, So it has to be you battling the old version of yourself. And that takes discipline, and that takes focus. That takes you having to separate yourself, step outside of yourself and go, girl, I see you. No, we're not doing that today. Nah. If it's not uplifting, if it don't make you feel good, you don't have to entertain that. Or having those days where I did entertain that, and I did cry for that little girl. And I I honored those feelings.
Yeah.
But didn't live there, didn't stay there. So yeah, it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes a lot of focus to be able to heal yourself and unlearn and talk against those indoctrinated thoughts and feelings and beliefs about yourself.
Yeah. I just love the way that you put that. I mean, I did. I was like, wow, I like that. I like the way that language. I like that
Mhm.
language that you put in there.
Mhm.
That was amazing. So Robina, explain to who that is, because I gotta find me one. I gotta find another name for mine. For mine too.
So I was dating this guy, right? I was dating this guy, and he used to joke with me. I used to be really, really overweight. And that was part of my defense mechanism as well. If I eat, if I cover up, if I hide behind food, then nobody would look at me. Nobody's going to touch me. And, that's part of me dimming my light and playing myself down and dummying down, right? So this guy that I was dating, we would go out to eat or something like that. And he would joke and be like, yeah, Robina, she came to eat today. Look at Robina. She killing that food. And we would kind of laugh about that. And I was like, yeah, Robina is the smaller version of myself. She's out of control. She's a hater. She fat, she ugly. She's that girlfriend that come to the club with you, and she hate on everybody else that's trying to get to you, get to know you. And Robina is always just a hater. So, when I start having negative thoughts, if I'm judging people, I'd be like, Robina, no, girl, nah, we're not playing with you. Get on up out of here. So I always refer back to that name that my ex-boyfriend had kind of given that version of myself. And I thought it was funny.
Yeah, when I was reading it, and you brought it back up towards the end, and I love how you kind of divorced. I want to say divorced, kind of divorced, Robina. I felt that
Mhm.
having that ceremony, but also thanking her,
Yeah.
just the thing. I felt that was probably one of the most intimate moments that was happened in your book was
Uh-huh.
that moment because it allowed you to it's like when you see yourself growing, you see a growth. So
Mhm.
you're standing there and you see your new self as growth, and then you see your old version of you. But instead of you say, girl, no, 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 you say, you know what, baby, thank you. I got it
Yeah.
now. Like I
Mhm.
got it now, girl. Thank you for protecting me all of that time, all of that. But now it's a new way that we gotta be. But I'm gonna send you off well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
And
like that.
we all have two parts of ourselves if we're really honest. You know what I'm saying? We have that higher version of ourselves who is
Hmm.
daring, they're they just out there, not afraid. And then we have the lower version, that one that protects us, that one that feels like it's the ego. It's the
Yeah.
ego. And it feels like it has to stand up for you, but at the same time, it is standing against you and
Hmm.
against your growth
Yeah.
because that ego is comfortable being right where it is. And yeah, that's the relationship between me and Robina. She be like peeking around the corner sometimes. I'd be like, girl, nah, no, we done, girl.
But you know what?
So
I even like the way that you broke down ego, egging God out.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, I've
mm-hmm.
never heard that before. Have you ever heard of that,
No,
Doc? Mike?
no, I have not.
I've never heard that before, and I thought I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
like that. I'm gonna have to borrow that.
Yeah, because anything that is not of God, anything that is not, conducive to our growth, anything that is
Mhm.
not expanding or stretching us, that's the ego.
Yeah,
And God ain't got nothing to do with you playing small.
right.
That's definitely the ego. So, yeah, that's edging God all the way out.
Yeah.
And when it's time for me to grow, like right now, I feel like I'm in a season of growth. And it is scary because you've mastered that old version, right?
Mhm.
You mastered. I got her down pat.
Right.
But there is also an unveiling of a newer version of
Hmm.
yourself if you allow it to come in.
Yeah.
And yeah, if it ain't of God, then it ain't for you, or maybe it is. So you're just not ready
Right.
for that higher version of yourself.
Right, right, right. So
Mhm.
this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna come back. But what I want to do is right now her book is on sale on Amazon, and I got Dog Pound Mike to put up a link. So if you guys are listening right now and you're wondering what this beautiful book right here, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's just not for women, it's for men too. I'm just telling you this because it is, man, it's very transformative. It is very much so. And if you think you got it all together, we ain't always got it all together. And sometimes when you just look at someone else's story, it could trigger something of good. It could trigger something, oh, because that's what it did for me. That is what it did for me.
And when
So,
we come back, I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
okay, we switching roles.
I just got one question for you. It is related to the book, though.
Okay.
So,
All right. All right. So it's your girl, D Goddess Nyomi Banks here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast. We will be back with Mo the Goddess. All right. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast with Naomi Banks, where every day is a chance to embrace self-discovery and personal growth. Join Naomi on a transformative journey, streaming exclusively on Spotify and Breaker. With daily episodes from Monday through Friday, podcast is your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and self-love. Dive deep into engaging conversations about self-care, mindfulness, and personal development. Naomi brings you expert insights, practical tips, and uplifting stories from thought leaders in the field. Embark on a journey of self-discovery and unlock the power of self-love. Mark your calendars and tune in to the Season of Self-Love podcast. Available every weekday on Spotify and Spreaker. Remember, it's time to prioritize yourself and embrace the beautiful season of self-love. Get inspired and join Naomi Banks on the Season of Self-Love podcast.
All right, welcome back. It's your girl, the goddess Naomi Banks, here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap here podcast. Lord have mercy. I am here with the beautiful Mo, the goddess. She is the author of Permission to Power, which is an amazing book. Is right now on Amazon. You can grab it and pick it up. Don't worry about my little pink slips. These are notes for myself. When I say it's notes and highlighted through, I definitely I do my homework and I read, and this been great homework for me, because not only was it just for me to know who you are and be able to, ask you these wonderful questions, but also it just, had me looking in the mirror with a couple of things, reminding me of things and confirmations as well. So I thank you. I truly thank you for this book. Yes. Yes.
Okay. We just put that link up for the book, so y'all go right to Amazon.
All right. All right. Well, he had you on mute. Hey, okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. I said, and that's my question. That's what my question refers to, is you mentioned that you saw a lot of yourself in the book. Can you explain to us what you meant by that? Like, what parts of that stood out the most for you?
For me, okay, the first
What
one was
resonated with you the most?
one was the writing of the book, about when you decided to write your book. For me, it's been a minute. I mean, a book that I've written is more of a journal that I have, everybody. So my life story on me and sharing my story on book, I haven't done it yet because for some reason I've talked myself into waiting until this big thing is supposed to happen where it can make sense. Like my story that I've lived is not enough. You know what I'm saying? So I understood all of what you were saying in that aspect. And I actually kind of laughed and was like, okay, that's hmm. Yeah, that's it. But then it was some other things too. It was some other things with also doing things on your own. I mean, I did do things on my own, but I love that you just picked up and left and moved to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Just you talking yourself out of things, I saw that. I do that too. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so for you to acknowledge that, and it was funny because I just talked about that a few days ago on my morning show about that very thing, about talking myself out of, situations because of either fear or
Yeah.
you said it, a fear of, and it's not even fear of failure, it's a fear of success because you're so
Yes.
used to failure that that's comfortable for you. So anything that's new, it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
So it, like I said, it was a lot of things in here that was very relatable yeah, that I seen,
Mm-hmm.
that I was like, okay, she's right on with that. Yes. Yep, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things that was very confirming for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
All right.
get
So
it.
you get it? Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. All right. So here's another question. It's coming out of the out of your pain chapter.
Okay.
You wrote this. Imagine a 5-year-old little girl just wanting someone to save her from being continuously left in an abusive situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so crazy how most of my childhood was that way. Um, I grew up, my mother was married twice, and both my stepfathers were very abusive to me in some sort of way. Um, and I looked for, it was like every time I wasn't one of those little girls who kept it to myself. They used to call me nosy,
Mhm.
like, don't say nothing in front of her because she's going to repeat it. So I was one of those little girls that's going to tell,
Mhm.
and I would tell, and nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Nobody ever saved me. Nobody ever, stood up for me. Rather, they would make excuses for the other party. So then that taught me that my voice is not valuable and I'm
Mm.
not worthy of anybody listening to me. That was another reason why I held on to that book for so long. Like, nobody's going to want to hear what I have to say, nobody, who cares? And yeah, like most of my life, I was left to fend for myself and be in that abusive environment. And imagine what that does to you
Yeah.
from 5 years old on.
Hmm.
Imagine the mental wearing down, the stripping of the spirit,
Hmm.
especially from, those are supposed to be our formative years from 5 to 7 years old. That is where we're supposed to, our beliefs start from.
Hmm.
So from that young girl being left to fend for herself, nobody's listening to her, nobody's going to save her, nobody cares about her. I continue my life like that. And quite honestly, even as an adult, I'm analyzing a lot of who I am now. And I believe that I've been single for so long because that wall is still there. I could do this by myself. Like, why open myself up to be hurt or abused?
Hmm.
And I could do this on my own. So yeah, I've been doing things on my own for the longest, and I feel like, I have to be the strong savior for myself, or I felt like that. But
Hmm.
again, it's the unlearning of those
Yeah.
things that are taking place over and over and over. And even at this age, 53 years old, I am still unlearning a lot of things that happened in the childhood. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
So, can I ask you a question? Have you ever had that conversation with your mother as an adult, as someone that is going through the healing process?
I just had that conversation with her. Just found the courage
Mm.
because it was something that was eating away at me.
Mhm.
I had tried to have that conversation with her for many years, but she would always play it down like, "You're still thinking about that? Like, get over that." You
Mhm.
know, that was
Mhm.
most of her attitude. And finally, last year, I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I have to, in order for me to stretch past this this 12-year-old, because I'm still like emotionally 12 years old. Every time I talk to her, I'm thinking, oh, she's going to say something different. She's going to be different. She's going to be different. And she's never different, So I had the conversation with her. I went into it, not having any expectations. I asked myself, what am I going to get out of this? If
Mhm.
she owns up and apologizes to me, is that going to be good enough? Or if she continues on with who she is and who she's always been, am I going to have a setback? So I
Mhm.
had to even deal with that part of it. So anyway, I got on the phone, finally got the courage to give her a call and talk to her. And surprisingly, she listened to everything that I said. She listened to everything. Um, and I was finally strong enough not to cry through the whole conversation because usually I break down and start crying. And I would have moments, where I was sobbing a little bit, but I was strong and I said everything. And this is how this made me feel. And when you did this and when you said this, and I also told her in the beginning, I don't want this to be an argument or an accusatory type thing. I just want you to have some compassion and listen to me for a moment because I feel like I have to get this out in order to heal. And she listened to the whole thing and even sounded like she was going to show some compassion. And then at the end of the conversation, girl, she went back to being who she was. She's the victim. So
Mm.
everything that I told her, it was like she had excuses rather
Mhm.
than saying, "Yeah, I was wrong."
Taking
Well, I did
accountability
this
for it. Yeah.
because he did X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
never took accountability.
Yeah.
So, at that point is when I went no contact. I said, I got it
Mhm.
out, no
Mhm.
hard feelings. I even invited her to come live with me in Bali. Um, because at the end of the day, I still want my mama,
Yeah.
I still
Mhm.
want that relationship with my mama. But I had to really just understand that I couldn't keep allowing that wound to
Yeah.
be ripped open every time I talked to her, expecting her to be my mama, and
Yeah.
she really wasn't able to. So
Yeah.
I went no contact, but I did have that conversation.
Yeah.
I knew that I had to in order for me to, get past a lot of things that I was dealing with and that I have been dealing with.
Right. So let me ask you this question. It's something that we talk about, especially with self love, as we talk about looking at things from a different perspective and understanding.
Mhm.
There's one thing that you said in there that I say all the time is about when you know better, you do better. And
Mhm.
when I look at, my mom and my father has passed away, but I look at, the older people in my family and how they all are old and set in their ways. And
Yes.
a lot of times, because really they don't know better. They really don't know better. And a lot of them are very afraid to know anything else, not giving it any excuse. But for me, with my self love healing, I learned to be
Yeah.
more compassionate about that. So when they said that ain't even my business, like if my mom says something to me, to try to poke the bear, I just crack up laughing because I'm like, girl, you need to get on my level. You understand what I'm saying? But that's me going through, my healing process with it to understand is that, and you said it in your book, I cannot control nobody but myself or how I react to it at all.
Yeah.
So I had that moment what I said, and I talked to my mom about everything, that I
Yeah.
went through as a child. I went through abandonment, I went through all of those things. And I understand that a lot of those things were cards that she was dealt with. She could have did it differently, just like we all could have did it differently with our motherly. You understand what I'm saying? But when,
Yes.
but I guess I just want to put this to you right here. Whenever you get a moment in a time and you got that beautiful place there, take a moment and just step away and just be uh Ramona. I'm sorry. And just sit in that
Yes.
moment and just remember who she was before. You know what I'm saying? And just
Yes.
think of those things. And I'm gonna be honest. I cried for my mother and them because they didn't know better.
Oh my God.
And that would allow
Yes.
me to heal me. Now what the thing is
Yeah.
that I'm trying to heal them, and that's not what I'm that's not my job. But the thing is that
Mhm.
hopefully they seeing me healed, that can move the process for them to heal. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand your no contact because I've done that with several different members of my family as well. Um,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
mama, that mama, and I just reading your book, it kind of like, no, you did not put a whole lot of things, but it was like I was just reading through and I heard her when she made that excuse for Frank. And I saw it in her, and like he was the one who saved her at 8 months, being 8 months
Yeah.
pregnant with. So she felt like she owed him. And you know what I'm saying? It was all of that. I'm not giving it no excuses at all of those
Right.
things.
Right.
I just want you to look at it in a different perspective, to start to look at it in a different perspective, because it will be a lot healing for you too. Because you might not ever get that, and you said it here, you might not ever get that apology. You know,
Exactly.
yeah. And just
Yeah.
what I do is I pray. I pray for that other person. I truly do. I pray for that other person that they will get some healing somewhere, somehow. But I can no longer hold that on me, and I have to still live and be who I am and still treat that person with because that's taking me out of my character. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that with you. And I needed to ask you that question with your mom first.
Yeah, I hear you. Can you still see me? Because you
Yeah.
froze.
Oh, I froze? Now you froze.
Yeah, you froze. Am I still here?
You still there? You froze some.
You froze some, yeah. Yeah, you froze some, but on
I
the back
can't hear
end, I
you
think
now.
you can hear me.
Wait a
Okay, we are in a long distance.
All right, yeah. So guys, we are across country. So again, this is Naomi Banks here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast. We are here with Mother Goddess. She is live from Bali, and y'all know technical difficulties that it happens. Technical. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back, and hopefully we can get it going. All right, it's your girl, the Goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast with Naomi Banks, where every day is a chance to embrace self-discovery and personal growth. Join Naomi on a transformative journey, streaming exclusively on Spotify and Breaker. With daily episodes from Monday through Friday, podcast is your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and self-love. Dive deep into engaging conversations about self-care, mindfulness, and personal development. Naomi brings you expert insights, practical tips, and uplifting stories from thought leaders in the field. Embark on a journey of self-discovery and unlock the power of self-love. Mark your calendars and tune in to the Season of Self-Love podcast, available every weekday on Spotify and Spreaker. Remember, it's time to prioritize yourself and embrace the beautiful season of self-love. Get inspired and join Naomi Banks on the Season of Self-Love podcast.
All right, welcome back. It's your girl, the Goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. And I'm here with the beautiful Mother Goddess. Hey, beautiful.
We back.
Yeah, we back.
Okay, great.
We are back. All right, so this is a question that I mean, it's not a question. I just want to kind of talk about this quote that you have, this line that you have in here. And I think it's amazing. But also it kind of like piggyback a little bit on what I was just speaking to you just a few minutes ago. It says, if you don't take ownership of your own healing, you'll end up bleeding all over other people who never even cut you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like that I was having that just to go back to the last thing that you had said. I had a conversation with my son earlier, my youngest son,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about my oldest son and Valentine's Day. And I was like, he said, yeah, I talked to him today. I asked him if he talked to his brother. He said, yeah, I talked to him today. I said, well, did he say any ask you about his mama? Because I didn't even hear from him on Valentine's Day. And he said, Mom, that's a me thing. That's not a him thing. He doesn't call you on Valentine's Day, does he? And I was like, well, no, but you would think that at some point, now that he's older, he would realize that that's an important day to call his mama on. And he was like, Mama, you said it for yourself. So he often reminds me, Mama, you said it for yourself. People are who they are. You can't make him who you want him to be. And that is so true. I have to remind myself of that. And I also, all the things, all the challenges, all the, trials and the tribulations that I experienced with my mother, I have to also give thanks for who she is as an individual, because she raised a badass, and I have to thank her for that. And at the same time, I have to find it within myself to be compassionate
Yes.
for whatever it is that she has gone through that has made her who she is and how she responds. So even with that being said, that's not my business. I can't keep going there. I can't keep, well, maybe this time she gonna change, or I want her to be this way. No, what are you gonna do for you, sis? Because now is the time for you to focus on you. You can't be worried about nobody else growing, and if they grow, if they, evolve. You have to worry about your own self
Yeah.
and how you are going to grow and how you are going to evolve and how you're going to heal so that when you come in contact with the people that you love,
Mm-hmm.
that you're not spilling all of that icky, toxic bull onto them because you haven't taken the time to focus on yourself.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's girl, it's a work. It's a work. It never stops, you know.
It
It never
is.
stops.
It is. It was another one that you had in here. There's so many. When I tell you I have this I'm just just really, let me see, did I mark it down?
I really appreciate you getting the book and reading the book. And I just want to share with you, like, this is a transparent time for me to say this as well. When people tell me that they ordered my book, that small me shows up and I'm like, oh my God, I know I had typos. Oh my God, I know it wasn't perfect. I didn't, I start to judge myself. Like, oh,
Right.
they're gonna see that I'm really not an author. I just wrote a book. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm always having to battle
Mm.
Robina.
Mm-hmm.
Like Robina, like, girl, you just wrote a book, girl. You ain't even no author, girl.
Girl,
Stop.
don't tell her to go sit your ass down over there in that corner. I call you when I need you. Go sit your ass over there in that corner.
Right, exactly. So, that's even something that I battle with, Of course, I want to sell my book. I want it to be out there, but then when people say, I bought your book, I'm like, ooh, they're gonna know, they're gonna know that I'm really not as smart as what I would like to be.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm.
every day battle, every
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
but I can say that transparently,
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I have to practice every day. I have
Yeah.
to be that goddess. I have to stand in my truth. Like, no,
Yeah.
girl, there's so many people out there that wish they had wrote a book, and you did. There's so many people out there who want to, and you did.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like,
Yeah.
back and
Mm-hmm.
forth all the
And
time.
what at the end of you, what you said, standing your shit. Wait, hold on.
Talk your shit, girl.
Yes,
Stand.
yes, that is what you said.
Talk your shit now.
That is what you said. But I did. I love the book through and through. Like I said, there was a lot of things in here that I can truly relate to. It's amazing. It is, and I am so. I just met you, and I am so proud of you. I am. I'm just so proud of it all. At a
Thank
moment, I
you.
was a single mother at one time, so I understand exactly. Just that all. Like you didn't write everything, but I knew what it
Mhm,
was and what
mhm.
understanding. Just know that there's a lot of single mothers out there that would love to read this book because some of them haven't even got to step one. You understand what I'm
Right,
saying? Some of them, don't even know how to crawl yet. That they're just
man.
laying there and just taking what life has to offer and not know, okay, you can get up and crawl and now you can get up and walk. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? So even with that, just know that I know when you wrote in there and you said, you wasn't an influencer or influential, but when you chose to be courageous and write this book, you are an influencer. You are influential because you are courageous enough to share your story.
mhm.
And for me to read this, one of my girlfriends, she said, I love the way that you do read their books. Yes, I do. Because one thing is I feel it's an honor that you chose and everyone else that came on here that you chose the time to share this space with me. But not only that,
Oh,
but to share your story with me. And so that would be very disrespectful for me to sit and act like I've read a part of your life. You understand what I'm
right.
saying? It's like not only am I invested in my guests, but also I'm invested in your story. My thing is, I love to love people. I want
Yeah.
people to win. We've been put on this earth to serve one another. You
Tell it,
understand what I'm saying?
girl.
Yes, and
Yes.
each one of us do have a purpose in life. It's
Yes.
just the great thing is that we chose to go ahead and follow our purpose. We chose to go through our healing process. We're going to be healing forever. Just think about
Yes.
it. You say you 53, I'm 51. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we have to unlearn. That's why I love when you wrote that saying is about it's more discipline and focus on unlearning than to what
Yes.
we do have to learn. You know,
Hmm.
and that's the beautiful thing. And even, looking at, the audience out there, is just please have compassion for yourself, because it ain't gonna be easy. But when I tell you, when you go on this healing journey, when you go on this
Wow.
and you know who you are, it is so amazing. It is so amazing. It really is. And look, I'm trying to get the camera right here. That permission to power, it is something. All right, so going to now, we already. I wanted to skip over. What made you go to Bali?
Okay, so that is a real crazy question. I mean, a crazy answer to the question because I had moved like you heard in the book. I moved to Atlanta. Atlanta, I love Atlanta. It was like somebody turned on the light switch when I went to Atlanta, and I started to go through this whole spiritual awakening in Atlanta. And Atlanta introduced me to different parts of myself that I didn't. It was just exciting, right? I remember one day in my living room in my condo, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking around and I'm just admiring my space, right? And I just felt this overwhelming sense like, okay, what more?
Yeah.
There has to be more because right now I'm just going through the motions.
Mhm.
What more is it that you want from me? What should I be doing? And my computer was sitting on my desk next to me. And I don't know what happened because I didn't know anything about Bali, didn't know anybody who had ever come to Bali, didn't know nothing about Bali. And the next thing I know, I was on Expedia and I booked a one-way ticket to Bali, girl. A one-way ticket to Bali. Not go visit and hang out for a while. Come on. Not that. A one-way ticket. And it from that point to the time that I was going to leave was 30 days. So
Mm.
I started selling all my things and I was really excited because I had something to look forward to. And then I started learning about Bali after I booked the ticket. I was like, oh, I think I'm going to like it there. And I didn't really do no real
Deep.
research.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the algorithm started showing me more about Bali because
Mm-hmm.
I booked the ticket. And I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna like it there. It's tropical, good weather. Looks like the food is good. And the moment I set my butt on the seat on the plane, and I didn't even pay attention to this, but it was 02/02/2020. So it was the same numbers going forward as it was going back, which is called a palindrome, right? So I
Mm.
sat there in that seat and I just felt like this was like perfect. This is perfect. It's going to be okay. And the moment I came to Bali is when I started hearing about this whole virus.
Mm.
So
Mm.
then that started sparking up, and I was like, oh, okay, God, I see what you did. You just picked me up and put me over here. And then it was like I was watching a TV show of everything that was happening in America. My life was the best that it had ever been. I was in paradise. And then I started to go through a deeper healing process. It's something
Mm.
magical about being here in this country,
Mm.
Indonesia, Bali specifically, where the energy here is very nurturing. And we call her Mama Bali because she takes care of you. And I moved to this city called Ubud, and Ubud means medicine.
Mm.
And it was my medicine. And that's when the healing process and having the ceremonies, cutting the cord between me and Robina and me and that old version of myself began. So I love Bali. And I've been back and forth ever since 2020,
Mm-hmm.
going on 4 years now. So yeah, I love it here.
Beautiful. I love. I haven't been there, but I want to come.
You gotta come. You gotta come. Anybody that comes, it's so funny because Bali, they say, um, that Bali chooses its people, and it definitely
Mm,
chose me because I didn't know anything about Bali.
right.
But when I meet certain individuals here, we all
Hmm.
have the same story. You know, some
Wow.
people would be like, "Oh, I was going to Thailand and my plane had to take a layover, and I got stuck in Bali and I ain't never left." You know, it's just like Bali has a way of grabbing you and taking
Hmm.
care of you, and I feel like I have been nurtured. I have been um, able to see myself in so many ways that I didn't before. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's what brought me here.
Beautiful. Now, for you, being a woman of color, being a black woman, being in a whole different type of, a country, how has the, how can you say it, with the greeting for you? Like, what's the word? I'm getting a little tongue tied right now. Help me out.
How the
I know what I
Reception,
know what you mean.
reception
The
for you.
adaptation. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I feel like the red carpet was rolled out for me. I feel like a celebrity here, and I needed that. I needed that. You know, because I talk about in the book how needing to be seen, needing to be loved,
Yes.
needing to be heard. These people here are so loving. And when they see a woman of color, especially somebody who looks like me,
Hmm.
um, they're like, they want to know all about you and they look at you in awe, you know. Everybody want to take pictures with me. And I don't feel that passive aggressive type of racism here.
Hmm.
So yeah, I feel like a celebrity, and I think that's what's kept me here. You know, I can live a quality lifestyle, um, and all the things that a goddess should have is
Hmm.
here. You know, so yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm missing that too.
girl, you got to come down. I'm having a retreat in May. I really would like you to come on down and be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm renewing my passport as we speak.
Oh, good,
Yeah, yeah, I'm
good,
renewing my
good.
passport as we speak. Yeah.
And you
Oh my.
know, I am going to. I hope my kid is not watching this because I'm going to surprise him. Speak up. Speaking of, he called me right now, but I'll be back on that side in next month. So I would love to even sit down with you in person
Girl, yeah,
and
we
talk to you
can.
in
I like to
person.
do a nice little spread with some wine and some girl. Yes.
Yes, I would love to meet you in person. I will be back in
Yes.
Vegas.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
It's a date. It's a date. It
Yeah.
truly is. It's a date. Yeah, it's a date. It's a date. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, I can keep you on for a long, but I don't want to do that because you've already been waiting for us for the longest. But I just want to
Girl,
tell
that
you.
was my bad. I was like, now where's she at? I was on at 9 a.m. I thought that's what your email had said, though.
Did it
My
say that?
time was 9 a.m. and I showed up at 9 and it should have been 10.
Yeah. It could have been on my part. It truly could have, and I
But that's
apologize.
okay. That's okay because I didn't have Wi-Fi, and I'm just so glad that I was able to connect with my phone. And hopefully, you know, the it's not too distorted
Hmm.
and you can see me clear.
Oh, it
Yeah,
looks great.
it looks great over here. It does. It looks great over here. So, do you have any
Okay,
last
good.
words that you want to share with the BTG crew and the people out there that's watching or listening out there?
Well, my last words, I really don't have any last words. I just thank you guys for being here and listening to my story. Um, like Miss Naomi said, Naomi said, if you want to purchase my book, then it's available on Amazon. I live on Instagram. So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram and follow my journey there, I am God Bod by Mo on Instagram. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is Mo the Goddess Body Network. So, yeah, I don't really have any last words. Thank you guys. And I always tell my community to be fit, Be fierce and be fabulous, because healthy is the new sexy.
Yes, it is. Oh, that is beautiful. You know what we didn't do? We didn't open up the lines. And I truly apologize. We was just talking and we did not want to, we didn't.
Hey, I'm here for it. If anybody has any questions.
Okay, can we still do that? We got time?
Sure do.
All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna send out a link also, as well as we're gonna put out the phone number. Give us a call at 626-605-2756. That's 626-605. That's Ask Naomi. If you have any questions for Mo, the goddess here, if you have any questions even about her journey, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna come back and then we're gonna see who's calling. All right, it's your girl, the goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. We will be right back.
Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast with Naomi Banks, where every day is a chance to embrace self-discovery and personal growth. Join Naomi on a transformative journey, streaming exclusively on Spotify and Breaker. With daily episodes from Monday through Friday, podcast is your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and self-love. Dive deep into engaging conversations about self-care, mindfulness, and personal development. Naomi brings you expert insights, practical tips, and uplifting stories from thought leaders in the field. Embark on a journey of self-discovery and unlock the power of self-love. Mark your calendars and tune in to the Season of Self-Love podcast, available every weekday on Spotify and Spreaker. Remember, it's time to prioritize yourself and embrace the beautiful season of self-love. Get inspired and join Naomi Banks on the Season of Self-Love podcast.
Hey, it's Dr. Will with the Washington Wellness Institute. Here at the Institute, we focus on so many different things, but our biggest focus is modernizing how we take mental illness into holistic wellness and making healing a lifestyle. So, if you're interested in taking the next steps, whether it's a clinician, community member, or simply just a friend, sign up today for a 15-minute consultation. You won't regret it. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
All right, it's your girl, the goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. And we here with the beautiful Mo, the goddess. All right, so I've been talking so much that they probably thought I was ending the show because we're only on for an hour.
Oh, look, we extended our time, huh?
We only been on for, but let me ask you this one last question. Just one last question. And I actually wrote on my pink thing too. So I believe it's when you had met Lee. And you said your mom told you don't bring it back here no more. You know, don't bring him back here no more. But you made a statement. You said my mother has always had a way of recognizing a bad seed, and I believe that's how I learned how to read people's energy too. But because she was always judgmental of all of my friends, I didn't heed her advice either. So this is my question for you. Was it only the judgmental, or was it that you saw in her choice of men from Frank and this other one that she really didn't know a bad seed? You understand what I'm saying?
You know, I didn't even look at it like that until you just mentioned it. You know what I chalked it up as? She was very needy. Obviously. You know, some women need to be in a relationship and they need to be with men. And she presents as a strong woman, right? But some way there has to be something in her that was so needing of a relationship with a man that she was allowing things to happen to her daughter. And I never even thought about that until you just said it. So that could have been it too. I think I was just rebelling in my own way. And that's why I went ahead with that relationship, knowing I shouldn't have been there. But the best thing that came out of that relationship was my beautiful son. So
yeah. All right, beautiful. But again, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to meet you in person so I can truly feel your energy. Like truly feel your energy.
So I can hug your neck, girl.
You say, how tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Oh, girl, we be hugging each other because I'm 5'9.5". So yeah, no.
Are you? Cool. I would really love to have you on my show as well.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. I have questions for you as well. Like I said, I'm
Yeah,
in
let me
the
know.
adult content creating industry,
Okay.
and I would like to just know some things about you
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm down. I just don't do no nudie no more,
and
but
how you retired. I want to know your story of retirement.
yes, it's been good. It's been a good revealing. It's because I'm getting to know who I am with that. Well, because I'm still using it, but it's just knowing who you are with. Yeah, it's a long one, but it's a good one. It's
Yeah.
a long, but it's a good one. It's been a very learning and healing process for me. Yeah. So
And that's great. That's great. As long as we going through the process and we are healing, that's the
yes.
most important thing. And
Yeah.
acknowledging the fact that there is a healing that needs to be take
Hmm.
place, you know? Because a
Yeah.
lot of us, we think we got it together, honey. We think that we got this thing mastered out, and then we don't need to become nothing more or do nothing more. And it's up, you
Right.
know?
No, this world
So
is so broken. Probably 99.9% of the people that is in this world need some healing. And the 0.1% is the baby inside of someone that's newly like this that hasn't, you know, but everyone needs healing. I don't care how much money you got, I don't care how much success you have. Somewhere, somehow, all of us need healing.
and that's why your platform is very important so that people have a safe space to speak about their healing and to encourage others to do the same for themselves. So I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate you taking the time to purchase and read the book. And I
This
look
was a gift for
forward
me too.
to,
This was amazing.
yeah, I look forward to us speaking a little more.
Yes, truly. I told you my new steal.
Good, good.
Really, really. Yes, yes. All right, so I'm gonna send you off with nothing but love and prayers and all the
Thank
light that you can. Seriously, again, I thank you. Guys, make sure you guys go purchase her book. It's called Permission to Power. And may I say because your name is on, may I say, because they're gonna be looking from Mo the Goddess. Can I say
Oh yeah, you can say my full name.
so it's from Ramona F. White. Ramona F. White is the author. So if you guys are look at it, ain't no more to gotta say, but that's who it is. And I will keep promoting it throughout the week, throughout the in the rest of the week too, because I'm gonna be taking different quotes and stuff out of it because it's really this book is really good. It really good. So y'all need to get it. I see some of y'all BTG crews out there. Y'all get this book. All right. Again, thank you, beautiful. Have a good one.
Thank you. And I want to share this with my community as well. So if you can send me the link, that would be great. If you
Oh
can.
yeah. Okay, I will.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
I will. All right, thank you. All right, y'all. It's your girl, the Goddess Naomi being said on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in this week. What an amazing guest. Her story is amazing. I told y'all she my new friend for real. For real, for real. And so I just love her story. It was meant to be. Like seriously, I was on. She had made a comment on one of the posts that I said about owning my sexuality, embracing my sexuality. For that one, and she had came under there, and I just went and I just said, let me check her out. I said, oh, she a goddess. Oh, okay. And then I was like, I need to really get this book. And so when I reached out to her, I prayed on it and I said, you know what, I think I need to have her on my show. And then when I saw Bali, so let me tell you about the Bali thing. It's because I've been always wanting to go to Bali and I've been always getting these little signs I traveled all over the place, but I always getting these, and I would never go. So when I saw that she was living in Bali, and it's just like she just got up and went by herself, I thought that was so inspiring to me. for someone to take the time to, go. And then when I found out that she had the Permission to Power book, just the title alone, will make you pick it up, period. So again, my beautiful people, when you're listening on YouTube, on X, or wherever you listen to, go pick up the book. Seriously. It will truly help you in your transformative. I'm all about transforming, transitioning, whatever you want to call it. Just go. And she's a life coach too, so make sure you hit it up. Dr. Mike, I put up her. It's at God Bod, by Mo. No, I think it's just Mo. Yeah. And that's her. Go follow her on her Instagram. She's on there a lot, and she speaks some really good, deep stuff, very empowering things. So I'm always all about finding me new empowering sisters to be, so we can just be a force. Really, really, really. All right, guys. Well, until next week, as I always say, be good to one another and yourselves, and always keep it sexy. I'll see y'all next week.
Hey, it's the goddess Naomi Banks, and I hope you enjoyed that last episode of Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap. And if you did, please like, subscribe, press that notification button, as well as comment. I'll see you next week. Keep it sexy.
Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationships, cultural differences, and so much more.